Hi everybody, welcome to our sword workout. I'm going to break this down into several videos. This one is going to be all about warm-ups. So every time you tackle a new sword video, a new section of the form, do this one first, because this will give you a nice warm-up and opportunity to practice your sheathing and unsheathing, and warm up those shoulders and wrists, and practice your strikes cleanly, so that you can be faster and faster and faster as you build your skills, okay? So we're gonna start in our closed gum-do stance. Proper stance includes closed stance, bent, soft knees, thumb on your guard so you can keep your weapon from falling out, okay? So when you bow, you're going to be in this position, and then you're going to immediately go into gum-do, closed stance, with your right hand resting gently on your hilt. Now, I like to warm up with sheathing and unsheathing several times. And when I unsheath, I turn my blade horizontal and I dip my hips and I go into a nice front stance, 45 degrees into the corner with my weapon up at an angle in my strike zone. I like to step into this stance because it's a very common stance in sword, and it gives me good practice with unsheathing my weapon in a nice, controlled, strong fashion. And then I'll put my left hand on my sheath, turn my sheath horizontal again, step back into a closed stance, and pull my weapon into the sheath in a nice, slow, controlled fashion. So I like to do that about 10 times just to get a good, nice warm up. Hi-ya! Make sure your left hand is covering the end of your sheath. Hi-ya! So that you can't see the sheath from the judge's table. Now, when the tip of your weapon enters the sheath, that's when you want to be very slow and controlled. Control of the sword is an important factor in judging. So right there, where it enters the sheath, I want to be nice and controlled. So I can do this part fast. Bringing it down across my hand, that can be very quick. And then I want to make sure that this portion is nice and controlled. Good. Hi-ya! Now you'll see half the time I will bring my sheath out to meet my sword as I'm resheathing, and sometimes I won't. Either way is accurate. You're not going to get points off for one or the other. You'll see people do both. Hi-ya! Good. Hi-ya! Oh, see, I missed it. This is why we practice, because we don't always get it right. Nice close stance. Hi-ya! Notice my front stance is deep, but it's not nearly as wide as my normal front stance. Those of you who are in the school with me know my front stance tends to be fairly wide, because for me, this is the better base. It allows my knees to not be stressed as much. But with my sword, if I were to do my front stance to the camera, it's going to be more like this. So it's much more narrow than my typical front stance. And that's because everything is on a diagonal in sword. So I like to keep my stance where it's strong to the front, but allows me that diagonal cut. Hi-ya! Let's do one more. Hi-ya! Good. Now, when I warm up, I like to be in just a ready stance with my legs. And I like to do 10 strikes in the middle, and then the left cut, right cut, all back up through the middle. So you'll notice I let the weapon stop when it's horizontal to the ground, and I always bring it up to the center. Drop for the left, up to the center. Shift to the right, up to the center. That is one. The reason for that is that when you're using sword, You always want to come back to the center position so that you're not telegraphing your strikes throughout your form. You want your opponent to be surprised. You don't want them to know. If I come at you like this, you're going to know that I'm cutting at a 45-degree angle towards your neck. If I'm here and I come at you, you don't know until the last second which way I'm going, okay? So I like to do nice and easy, middle, left, right, middle, left, right. Ooh, that was not as good. Middle, left, right, middle, left. I often throw a middle one in there because it's easy for me. Now, when you get really good, you'll start to hear the weapon slice, okay? You can't hear mine because it's plastic and it's hard to hear on this video. But when I have my better sword, you can hear it. Now, remember your grip. Your knuckles need to be in alignment with your blade, and you want to be about a ping pong ball width from the guard. You want to be able to have a little flexibility with your hands. A lot of people will tell you to hold the heel of your sword with your left hand. I don't do that. I like my hands to be together because I can control the sword better. It looks better, and it's just a little bit technically a cleaner look. So make sure that your knuckles are not here. You want to roll those wrists so your knuckles are in alignment. It allows your forearms to come tighter in front of you when you are holding your sword. So when you strike, your arms will actually stop the weapon at the appropriate place. So you don't have to worry about manhandling your sword. Your arm positioning will aid in that, okay? Now, I also like to do side cuts. So I turn the weapon horizontal, bring it to the side, and I cut across. Flip the weapon, cut across. Flip the weapon, straight across. Get full extension with your arms. Use your hips to add strength and power to your cuts. Good, good. I like to do at least that for my warm-up. Now, there is an official gum-do warm-up that is beautiful. It is such an amazing warm-up because you work your stances, cross stance, you work your low stances at the same time as you're warming up your upper body into your strikes. I recommend that you look into that if you're really serious about sword. It's a great warm-up, but that's for a separate video, okay? So every time you start to do your sword, I want you to open this video up. I want you to adjust your grip. I want you to do your sheathing and unsheathing 10 times. I want you to do your center, left and right cuts. That triple strike combo, I want you to do that 10 times. And then I want you to do your side cuts. That would be your 3 and 4 strikes. I want you to do those 10 times. Once you get through that, then you will move on to the appropriate video for whatever portion of the form you're studying at the time. And I will have other videos up for you that cover those portions of the form. I know that a lot of you this cycle have been frustrated because we're doing sword via Zoom, and it's a little challenging. So I wanted to do these videos for you, so help you out, add to your training, and we can roll these out anytime we do sword, just to help those of you who are black belts into gum-do get a little bit more proficient. I need some sword buddies. Awesome job, everybody.